you, Madam Mission Master, fellow Mission Masters, distinguished Toastmasters, our esteemed guests, and especially my mom, who has been with me through more struggles than I care to share right now. The title of my speech is Pain to Victory. Now, we all know pain. It's universal. Addict, not addict, physical, emotional, mental, whether you lost somebody, whether something was taken away from you, we all know pain. It's what unites us. It's the commonality amongst addicts, because we're all from different backgrounds. We have different stories, different experiences. We grew up differently. Some of us had great childhoods, some of us not so much. But pain is one thing that we all understand, because we use drugs as an outward expression of an inward problem, a turmoil that we're trying to numb, a hole we're trying to fill. The pain that I still feel today from my addiction, one that I have overcome with victory, but one that cuts so deep and scarred so much that I remember it as vividly as yesterday. It was my first CPS visit. You see, that's the one thing that I gave away that I regret more than any other, was my son. I didn't lose anything in my addiction, nothing. I gave it all away. I traded it so that I could be high. So my first CPS visit, you're excited. You're nervous, but you're more excited because you get to see your kid. But you're nervous because the caseworker's going to be there. And you're not sure, is she going to be judging me? Is she going to hover over my shoulder? Is she going to tell me what I can or can't do? Or is she just going to let me play with him? More than anything, you're excited because you get to see your kid who you haven't seen in weeks. Who you love, or so you say, more than anything else in the world. But before you go to this visit, you got to go into the back room, you got to close the curtains, close the blinds, lock the door, and make sure that you're high. That way you have the strength to get out of bed and go to this visit. That way you can focus to make it on time. So here you are, you're at the visit, you're having a great time. Small room, there's a couple toys, not many, but that's fine because you're with your kid. And you guys are having a great time, and he's excited to see you. My son was 2 years old. He was so excited that he got to be in the same room as his mommy and daddy for the first time in weeks. And we're having a great time, and we're playing, and we're losing track of time, and before you know it, our 2 hours is up. CPS has a really neat way of having you say goodbye to your kids. They have you carry them out to the car, to the caseworker's car, strap them into their car seat, and then wave them off as they drive goodbye. Now, I don't know if there's any parents in here or if anybody's been through a CPS visit. It might not sound so bad, except when you're there and you're walking my son out to the car, and he's holding on to me as tight as he can, as tight as his little hands can. And he doesn't know what's going on. All he knows is that we're going back to this caseworker's car that brought him there. So he knows this is taking him away from us, that he's no longer going to be with his mom and his dad. So he's telling me, he's saying, no, Dad, no, please no. Mommy, please no. The mother of my child is literally sitting on the curb behind me, shaking because she is in such distress. Because she is suffering from such a visceral pain that she cannot stand up and walk to the car with me. So we get to the car, and the car door opens, and he puts his little hand on it. He says, no, Dad, no. And he's trying to close it. And I got to be strong. I want to cry so badly, but I have to be strong. I don't want him to know that I'm hurting too. So I pull his hand away from it, and I pry his little fingers off my shirt and my shoulder. And I sit him, and he's crying, and he's screaming, and I put him into the car seat, and as soon as it clicks, he freezes. And a look comes over his face that no 2-year-old should have to feel. No 2-year-old should ever feel this much pain directly because of their parent. It was defeat. And he stared blankly at the headrest in front of him. And I stepped back, and I closed the door. And as soon as that door shut, he looked up at me, and he started crying again. No noise, just tears. Just tears, because the one man that was supposed to protect him more than any other, the one man that was never supposed to leave his side, just put him in a car with a stranger to drive away. You would think that would be enough for any sane person. That would be enough for anybody. As the car drove away, I crumbled and fell to the ground. But it wasn't enough yet. The big book says, cunning, baffling, and powerful is our addiction. Because it still took another month and a half when I was sitting in jail in a one-man cell and I woke up from a dead sleep and a cold sweat from this nightmare that I have of this reoccurring event, that I fell to my knees and I said, God, please help me. Please, God, come back into my life and help me be the man that you need me to be, that you wanted me to be, that my son deserves. And I had this overwhelming urge, this overwhelming sense. I don't want to say I heard a voice because I didn't, but it was just a feeling deep inside me that said, get up. Get up. I'm not done with you yet. Because of Jesus Christ, because of God, because of Crossroads Mission, and Myra Garlett for giving me a second chance to come here, and because of my family who has taken care of my son while I've been here, I am able to take something back that I gave away. Something to me means more than anything else I lost in my addiction. The right and the privilege to be called Daddy. To have my son look at me like a superhero again and say proudly, and I emphasize proudly, that's my dad. Thank you.